Hello again, YouTube RC crawlers. Wanted to make a little quick update video, and I put my phone on a selfie stick. I want to see if this is a little better than all the shaking. But in my last video, I said something about maybe doing something different with the axles, since I don't really like the Redcats as far as and they're not bad. They just, you can feel the quality is, you know even like, it's definitely below axials. But as far as they go, with a weird screw in there, where your shock mounts, it's just little quirks like that. This is my first Redcat, so I guess it's like when they say when you build Tamiyas, all Tamiyas have just little quirks and things that aggravate you. That and the aftermarket support's not as good, and I like certain brands in the RC like Vanquish SSD. You know, uh, they're good, and there's not a lot of good parts like as far as brass goes. I know Trio makes them. I not knocking it. They got some nice wheels, and I'll probably grab a set one day for like just a budget wheel. But I kept going back in my head to wanting to run Capra axles. So Saturday I ordered a set, but they're the 4-wheel steer kind. I don't know. I've never had 4-wheel steering on a crawler, so I'm going to give it a shot since I do have another servo and see how I like the 4-wheel steer. I might just, it's $200 on eBay for a set, or $225 with shipping, taxes, from a guy called Lumna Dave. He sells a lot of takeoff parts that are new. Probably the best parts guy I've ever seen on YouTube as far as who I bought from. He ships within like a day. So like I said, I ordered them Saturday and I got them today, which is pretty good. But so I did swap in the Capra axles. I'll show you some little things here. You do have to change a few things, nothing major, but if you got your factory shocks, I don't know how well this will work for you, because it'll definitely set a little lower since I've got the Pro shocks on here. Um, the it did all the it actually worked fairly well. Used the stock links, the stock drive shafts. Uh, I I like these unicorn style body posts. I put this in yesterday, but after I get the servo in, I might have to see how they're going to work. They'll still work, but you can see. No, you can't see. Okay, so now you can see. There's the servo mount. There's the linkage, but you still got articulation on one side of that servo mount. It does rub, and I can tell the factory links are just a 16th of an off, maybe a little tiny more, not a full eighth from being completely centered. And I know Hardcore RC, I talked to him through email. He's going to make up a set whenever he can get a hold of an Ascent. So I'll be looking for that, because they only have like a 12-inch wheelbase based on my measurement. And so I like to have a 12 and a half, push it out a little bit more. But so that's the rear with the factory Ascent drive shaft. Dang it, light. And stock links. Like I said, if you go with your factory Ascent shocks, as long as you've got the internal spring pulled out, you'll probably be okay. Like I said, there's a good chance I'm going to possibly go back to just having a regular straight rear axle instead of a steering axle in the back. But this is the only set of Capra axles they had on eBay, and they were new. Now the front's a little different. Still factory links. God, you guys really can't see that. Okay. Factory links, factory drive shaft. The only thing I did up here different was you have to flip your servo. Someone else, if they ever do it, might figure out a better way, but I just turned it 180. Also got to put the last screw in there for that one. And I grabbed a different servo horn. You don't probably need to, but I just like that one, and I already paid for it a while back, so I wanted to use it. And I've bought 2 of the Rock Pirate Interceptor, like aluminum chassis. I can't stand them, but they do come with a panhard mount, and the stock one is too long. Crap, I put it back in the bag already, but it was too long and it was hitting the top of the axle, so I threw this one in there. You can turn them when you can turn it to where the mount is going in toward the inside of the frame, or point toward the outside by the shock. I couldn't find any links long enough, but the steering worked out great. The angle's all right with my terrible lighting in here. You guys can't see shit. All right, so for most part, I did get it centered up, and the panhard, all that panhard mount on the Capra axle was from, I believe it was TGH, and or Team Garage Hack. I bought it, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. That's whenever I was okay with chassis mounted servos. Now I'm really more of a axle mounted servo guy, and I do still want to do that, but the only way you're going to do it is get I don't even know about a home stubby 540, probably a stubby revolver or something like that, like a Three Brothers RC. I've never, like I said, I'm not really into the revolvers, like the Outrunners. I might have to get a hold of it, but everything else is still, dang it, man, still factory in the truck. Like I said, I just 180 the servo, put a servo horn on the other end, like facing toward the truck. It still has room. It does contact one of the little nipples on top where the servo mount goes. You really got it's, I don't know, but for the most part, it still articulates pretty well. You could probably shave those down if you want to stick with chassis mount. I don't. I'll sacrifice a little bit of the 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch I lost on that one side from it contacting on my suspension. So till I know I'm going to get the Rock Warrior chassis. So, and as long as I don't have any more problems as far as swapping that over, I'm going to keep the axles. But if I can't run the Rock Warrior chassis, because it lowers like the motor mount down some, and I don't want anything in the way. And if that chassis won't work with these axles, then I guess I just won't run the chassis. Or, hey, I might do something custom. This whole forward motor mounting thing is new to me too, and I really like it. So we'll see how it goes. I think that's my next thing is getting a better. I'm more of a 2-in-1 guy. I really like the Fusions and the Spectras. But I was going to swap the my factory base camp stuff into it. But I got to looking, and I know Hobby Wing makes the Spectrums, like ESCs and stuff. I don't know about everything, but especially like the SCX10 line. But those are identical as far as, like, I guess they're both 1040s or whatever. Only thing different I noticed with these, with the Spectrum, is there's no on-off switch, which I do kind of like. But so I didn't swap it over because, well, I don't quite know why yet. But I don't remember what it was, but I still gotta get the rear servo on. I'll do that after my dinner gets done. That's with the body on. I love it. I did test drive it before I went to the gym and came back and started filming, and it still runs exactly the same. The gearing might be a little lower in the Capra axles because it seems to have a little bit better control. But I'm really hoping that the extra width is, as beneficial as it should be. But yeah, I just want to show that off, and I know my videos are not great, and I'm not really worried about that. It's just, I like doing the odd stuff, and I know people are gonna say, well, they might not say it, but you know, I took a $300 crawler and I put $100 shocks on it. But them shocks were, like I said, were meant for my T3, and I actually left the internal springs in the stock Ascent shocks and took the externals off, and we'll try them out on this one. And paint. I think I'm gonna paint the panels blue for the red, white, and blue. You know, just for aesthetics for the time being. I should have got a black cage and not a red one, but I don't know. My son thinks it's cool that he's got the little mini capper with a few mods. It still tips over entirely too bad. So I might drop these on there just to see what that would be like. But I like doing the odd stuff, being different. And I think I'm the first one to put Capra axles under it. And it's like I said, it's really not hard. It's just, you know, luckily I've got a crap load of links from over the years of buying sets and ordering sets and not using all of them. So it does work out. That definitely works to your advantage. And if you're looking to do it, I would definitely go over to Rock Pirates and just see if you can order one of their drag link mounts. But I'm sure other options will work. Where it sits from the factory, I had to move it up toward the front by one screw hole. So it normally sits, the factory one sits inside the shock tower, like flush on the front. With this one, you got to kind of pull it out. And I got to find a spacer that will go behind that rearmost screw. But I tightened the front one all the way up, and then tightened down the back one with a little bit longer screw, and it was good. But yeah, there's Capra axles on an Ascent. And I love it. Y'all have a good night. Day, whatever.